Hello everyone, today we're going to set up Expeditions, the Ironclad Edition. And what we're going to do is we're going to set this up almost like a two-player game, but then pivot at the last minute to give it the Autonomo, the solo experience. So setting up like the components, the board and everything, well that's going to be exactly what you'd expect to see in a normal game of Expeditions. But when it comes to the final touches, then we're going to twist to add the solo differences. So effectively not setting up player 2 and instead setting up myself, but then the Autonomo bot. So let's get into the box. Let's set up the map of Expeditions, and we're going to follow the handy little chart that's on this board here. It tells you exactly where to place the base camp, which is this tile, and then where to place the rest. So we put that down here, and I will then in a minute, let's just shuffle it slightly off the screen. So we've got all this table space here. First of all, we're going to take the south tiles. There are 6 of them, and we're going to give them a bit of a shuffle. Then we use the diagram here to place them out. Now these are placed face up. You can see these ones from the very beginning of the game, making sure they're all roughly the same way up, and well, I'm wanting to see them, so they're all going to be facing my direction. So we're just going to place them out here, and what you'll notice is while they have numbers, they are 1 to 6 because there are exactly 6 of these south tiles. Next we're going to go into the box and pull out the next lot of tiles. Once we've shuffled them, this is very important, these are face down on the board, or making up the board. So, following on, we can start by placing this here. I'm trying to just keep things orientated with that sort of symbol in the top left of the hexagon, if that makes sense. And now is the time I'm going to be moving the Expeditions box, because otherwise we don't have enough room for that map tile. Yes, you've probably guessed it, we're going to now shuffle the northern tiles and distribute them out. We're going to place them out, and it's going to create a very similar pattern, like so. Next we're going to place out these map tokens. Later on in the rules they'll just be called maps, but we're going to place them out onto each of these face down central and then northern tiles as well. Now you've got a load of these in the box, and the rest are simply going to be returned to the box for sort of a bit of a supply. Choose whether or not to hand out these helpful reminder cards. They've got all the symbols as well as different actions etc. on them. You can pass some out to each player if you wish. Before you shuffle the big deck, make sure you remove the Autonomo cards as well as the character and companion cards, which have this backing on them. You're just going to put those to one side for now, because we're looking for any card with this back, and we're just going to give that huge deck a bit of a shuffle. Once you've given the deck a bit of a shuffle, you're going to reveal 5 cards into the 5 empty spaces that you've got. Isn't that surprising? Fill the corruption bag with all of these tokens, mixing the orange and the tealy coloured ones all together, and just put that within reach. There's one exception, don't add this 20 to the bag. It's going to be used on a specific tile. Place the coins and the remaining map tokens just within reach for all players. Now we move on to the players. You're going to randomly select one of the mechs. You can, of course, if you really want, choose which one you want. Take the matching mech and attach a base to it, and that will be your mech, and place it onto the base camp. Now, while you don't just want to shuffle these cards, you do want to randomly select a character and get the associated companion. You can tell from the numbers in the top corner which ones go together, and they can be added into your hand. Add to the 0 part of your player board your guile and power. Take your glory tokens, these stars of your player colour, the colour you've put on the base of your mech, and add them to your player board. Also take your action cube and add it to the refresh space. Add all of the worker meeples into a pile within reach of all players. If you're playing a 2-player or more player game, well, you're going to just do this part again, getting a player board, a mech down here, and getting a companion and a character. If, however, you're going to solo expeditions, let's see how things such as the Autonoma deck come into play. Instead of setting up a full player board for the opponents, you're going to take one mech and place it in this space, and a secondary mech and place it down here. You'll notice this one, top left, is on the northern space, whereas this one is on a central space. Put the Autonoma reminder card just within eyesight so you can keep checking it throughout, and then pick your level of play. In the rulebook it suggests level 2, so you can start on that. However, go as hard as you want. You're going to place one of the unused colour cubes on the starting space, and that's going to then move along the tracks as the game progresses. The rest of your Autonoma cards look something like this, with a grey backing, or silvery backing. These are known as the decision cards. Give these a shuffle and then set 2 off to one side. The rest is then the decision deck. Unlike the normal players who have 4 glory stars, the Autonoma bot has 8, so just use 2 sets of 2 colours. Randomly decide the first player, and well, then you're ready to go and setup is complete.